gists, and you can see every single one of the things that we talked about on Saturday, the problems, and I'm sure the assessment I gave us, I'm sure by now we should have those kind of assignments. They're not really something that you have to like submit. No, this is not a school session. It's just some kind of a thing that you need to like just attempt it to like whatever idea you're able to come up with. You can just put them down. So in the sessions like this, you can just start talking, and then we start gisting, and then we talk about it, so we can generate ideas. I'm going to share my screen right now. And today is the last day in November 2020. So I don't know if it's okay if I can say a few prayers, but I pray that with these few months, this year, God's blessings will shine on each and every one of us. All right. December is 31 days, and miracles happens. Late miracles, if you believe in it. Sure, we will celebrate this Christmas with dirty December. Whoever says that we're not going to dirty December, they're lying. God is going to give us assurance, because he has already given us an initial assurance that he will supply every of our need through his generosity. So may the grace of God, his mercy be with every one of us. So thank you. I'm not a pastor, so don't even think it. I'm not a pastor. I'm not close. I'm not even close. It's not audible yet. Oh, what's going on? I'm seeing like 2-3 bar on my Wi-Fi. Hey, I feel. Oh, the network is, I think the network is fine. Yeah, it's better now. Okay, so we are going to talk about our, did we? Pastor Tusi, no. I'm a tech person. If at all there's going to be any kind of additional name to add, additional stuff to add, maybe like let's see, maybe what could it be? Maybe being a tech entrepreneur, being an investor. That's it, that pastor guide. Imagine, look at the way I've been teaching so far. Imagine me being in a church and preaching. I wonder what it's going to look like. Churches and people will be like, oh, I know. Yeah, I think I want to check something. Wait, this is a notification here. This yellow one. Upcoming schedule maintenance Saturday, 7:30 a.m. Your time. Mirror will be unavailable for 3 hours. Okay, that's fine. So before our class starts in the evening on Saturday, Mirror will be fine. And what kind of maintenance are they trying to do that they cannot sort out virtually? Something they should be able to sort out virtually. So I want to show us, this is like a sample representation of every single thing we're going to do. This is the idea stage. This is where we are going to start our entire work today. So we're going to start every single one of our activities today. Let me zoom. Okay, I think it's zoomed already. So you see, this is an entire idea stage. I may decided not to use this particular template. There are different templates that you could pick. So it depends. So I may decide to use this or not. But either ways, it's just they're all sticky notes. Imagine having a sticky note in your workspace, maybe in your office or at home, your workspace, and then you want to try and jot points, jot down a lot of things. So this is exactly what Miro will do for you. And then that is what we're going to cover today. But our ideas still don't end until the end of the project, the product. So I will not call it a project. We're going to call it a product because it's an actual product. So the second part is this analysis. So we had to do a few research just to check through and see what user feels about the product. So just to have an idea of what exactly is going on out there in the market. Then after that, we'll go into the competitive analysis, checking through our competitors to see their strengths, their uniqueness, their strength, their weakness, you know, what they are good at and what they are not actually doing very well. Just so we could use that to improve on our sessions. These were the things that the physical class covered through. So we've completed the entire UX. We recently just started with the UI. Yeah, we started with the UI today. Well, today was more of wireframing. So this is why do we have 7 people? What's going on? This is one of the part of the user workflow. This is part of the user workflow, and this is another one. This is more of a data flow diagram. This is another one. So basically, these are some of the things that we're going to cover. So I'm looking at how we're going to run the entire session. So what I will do is each class is going to be for each session. So once you open your Miro, just create a new board. Can you see where my cursor is? Just click on board. Create team board. Create team board, still loading. I need to quickly sort something right now. Okay, one thing very interesting about Miro is the fact that there are a lot of templates to execute every single thing that we want to do. Like every single thing. Now, the first thing we want to do is more of an idea and all. So let me type idea and see, this is idea napkin. How now wow matrix. I've never used this one before. Idea funnel backlog. I've used something like this before. Yeah, this is brainwriting. That was the previous one I showed us. You can use this reverse brainstorming, parking lots. You've seen that other one. Let me just do a preview. I don't want to use this one because I tend to use different. So you can see this is just a sticky note, just to generate idea. So just type in something. Yeah, nothing really special. So I'm still trying to look for. I've used reverse brainstorming before. I don't know if I should use. I've used idea napkin before, but it's way much more elaborate. I want something simple, you know. And okay, let me do this. See all. There should be more brainstorming notes now. How about? Scamper. No, we're not using Scamper. All you got. Okay. I would have to choose between brainwriting, reverse. I don't want to use idea napkin because napkin has the option problem identity and problems and solutions. Brainwriting is just for idea generation. So if I want to use idea napkin, it's best to pick both brainwriting and idea napkin. So we'll use the brainwriting to generate idea, then we'll use idea napkin to sort them out. I think we should just do that. So writing first, then I'll go back and pick the other one. Great. So you can see that it's nothing but a sticky note. I'm just put it here. So I'll go back and pick the other one because I would need it to do few problem identification now. And that's the best thing. So now this is our idea napkin. Let me zoom in so we can see the stuff that are inside. You can see problem, solution, what is happening and what is being used, where and when. Can you see? So we can always edit it. It's a template, so you can use it for whatever you want. Then the benefit. So I sometimes follow through their templates. I don't. So it's just the essence of having to. It's about time of having to go through a lot of stress and trying to come up with something. So that's the reason why I use the templates. Okay, so network is going to show me serious one today. Ever since there's been this fuel scarcity and all, my network has always been slow. Even never had liberal lights. I don't understand. Okay, before I start, let me do something. So this is our sticky note here. You know, normally I'm supposed to like walk us through how to use Miro, the tools and all, but to take time, so the best way is to actually learn to use Miro while actually solving an actual problem. So there are tools I just imagine you in your office and you are like, sorry, please, can you do the background noise? Please, please. I don't want to mute us so we can communicate. But if the noise is getting too much, I'll have to mute everybody. I don't want that to happen. So the first one here is the select tool, this one. That is what we used to do all the dragging. This is where the template is. This is text. If you want to add text. But one thing is every sticky note already have the feature of the text. Then we have the sticky notes here, different colors, different options. We have all the shape tools. We have the connectors. We use it for the user workflow. We have the pen tool and the comment section. Then here we have every other additional apps. You might probably not even use most of them until you complete your entire job. Because there's been time that I don't think I've ever used all of them, just few. To see, let's say you are a project manager or business executives, or at least you work with part of the teams that actually build stuff or try to improve the company's businesses and all, you know. when you're at the office or at your house, you need a pen and a note to jot down something. You need your sticky notes. You need to think about a lot of ideas. Then at the long run, you have to PowerPoint every bit of it. You see, those things that you have to do, those things that you need, the tools, the timing that you need to execute every single one of those things. This tool that you're looking at on your screen right now will do every single thing for you, even down to the presentation. So you don't need to PowerPoint anything. Like, you don't need to stress yourself for PowerPointing or anything. They have everything. You can see the sticky notes. You can see every other options there. So it will take care of every single one of these things for you. So that is how powerful our Miro can be. Okay, so before I start, I'm going to like give us the opportunity to come up with our own ideas as well. So I will not swallow her. I will not swallow her. Wow. Wow, I don't want that. Yeah, I think that's it. I will have to mute everybody. Okay, the first thing we want to do is the ideas stage. We can call it the brainstorming, and we can call it strategy. That strategic meeting that you used to do at your office that would last like 6-8 hours. I don't understand what you people do. I don't understand. Can someone help me out? I really don't understand what you do and how you do it. I really don't understand. Like, what are you doing? 4 hours, 8 hours. If I'm in that kind of company, God knows, I probably will be sleeping. I don't know. I really don't know. Because I'm trying to like figure out what exactly could go wrong. I mean, why 8 hours, 9 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours meeting? It's not as if you will not have another meeting and still talk about the same issue again. So our number one thing, so everything I want to do here, we call it the idea, we can call it the brainstorming, we call it the strategy. They all work hand in hand. They're together forever. So the next part is where we now do our research. If you're hearing UX research UX and all, that is where, don't worry, I will zoom in so we can see everything. So under research, we do user research. I need to comment that. User research, market research, and competitive analysis. That's for number 2. Number 3, we are now going to do, let me just call it analyzing. I think I need to zoom this in. The way is just looking very tiny. Then I can see. Great. Analyzing our research from the data collected in number 2. You get the gist? So number 3 will then be, at this stage, the job is already getting very serious. So number 3, we would do, I'm thinking of, let's touch, before user journey, let's do the persona. The persona, then from there we could do a user. Now I think, let me do a storyboarding. Then my number 5 will do persona. Then number 6 will do user journey. I would explain the user journey part. Number 7 we do, basically we'll explain every single one of them. We'll do the user workflow. user workflow. Then number 8, we do mood board. Number 9, we do wireframe. Number 10, UI design. Now look at that. Then 11 is prototype. And 12 is usability testing. So I don't know about other UI UX designer, but this is my own method. The steps that I always take in solving an actual problem. So I'm going to send the link to this. Hold on, I think I need to. What's the name of that? Find Mechanic. That was how I was supposed to start. Like change the name, and everything you do here is saved, provided your network is strong enough to carry it. And see it at the top here. Once I click on it, I can make edits. And once that's all. So look at this 1 to 12 section. These are every single thing that you would do. So it means you'll be seeing me for how many sessions? Okay, number 1, we'll cover half of number 1 today, and then we'll do assessment. That is where we'll need all of our effort. So whatever idea you can come up with, we'll generate every single one of them. So that way we can move on to the next part. Number 1. Number 2 is going to be like more, so which means that this week we'll cover up the number 1. Number 2, we would sort number 2 for the other week. Then analyzing the data is something that can be done in a limited time since you already generated reports, so we can move on. So storyboarding and persona user journey are something that we can do in one of our classes. It doesn't really take much of our time. User workflow, that one we can do that for a whole session. A mood board, I will combine mood board with wireframing. So we are doing that. Our mood board is not really much. It's just explaining and then telling you the tools that you need to solve everything. Then which would now take us to UI. So which means that from number 1 to number 9, everything is UX. But wireframing, sometimes a UI designer could do wireframing as well. So I could say number 1 to number 8 is UX, then 9 to 12. But as a UX designer, you need to have the knowledge of wireframing because you are the one that work on a workflow. And the workflow contains every bit of the steppings, the step-by-step instructions on how the user would move around, will navigate through the entire screen. So which is really, really one of the most important parts of the task. So this is, like I said, I don't know about other people. This is my own method towards jumping from UX to UI for a product. So yeah, I made the video of our last conversation. Let me try and see, let me look for it. So I need to open up that video. We have lots and lots of ideas that has been generated. That's the essence of keeping records. So let me open the video. Okay, so I don't need to do all these participants. We'll just combine everything together. So okay, find Mechanic. I'm on the video right now. Unable to speak. Okay, most Mechanic has a mobile phone. We talked about the mobile phone. The mobile phone, to solve the security problem, a full profile. Yeah, we'll talk about profile registration, a full profile registration. So I want to like quickly list out the ones we talk about. I'm going to send a link to this file to us, but you will not be able to edit it, but you can only preview in case of next class. But once I continue to update it, you would always see it there. Full profile registration, which would cover a lot. Yeah. Then We talk about the traffic issue that would fall under the problem session. Okay. Thank God I recorded this video. There are some problems. What happened in a situation where the nearest mechanic is already engaged? Okay, this one's more of a problem identification. So which means we are still going to use this video at a later time, maybe in our next class, preferably. Not preferably, we're definitely using it. Why did I just say preferably? Because that is how we would identify some problems. So for now, we're not really identifying problems. We're trying to create ideas. Now, how do we create ideas? We are going to generate ways at which we want to actually improve, what kind of features, what kind of concept, how do you want the idea to, how do you want this our fine mechanic to look like? What kind of features do you want it to have? So this is what we want to actually work on right now. Before we actually go into research, so I don't know, let's kill every noise. So I would give access, everybody can unmute, and if you don't want to talk, you can just, so I've given access, everybody can unmute. If you don't want to talk, you can just drop a message. Cannot drop a message. So I'll just, for now, we are collecting ideas. So we are not throwing away ideas. Even if you're going to collect ideas to fill up this sessions, that is what we want to do today. And look at the sticky notes we have here. 6 per line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. That is like 40 something. Can we get 42 idea? We should be able to erase 42 ideas from this now. Of course, we're not going to pick every single one of them. Okay, I thought of collaborating with spare parts dealer. That is a perfect one. Honestly, that is a perfect one. Because if there might be some kind of repair that would need replacement. And then instead of having to, okay, this is what you're going to do, this is what you're going to buy, of course, since the customer knows that the mechanic is from a company, and then the mechanic will suggest, okay, this is what is wrong with the car. The next question the customer would ask is, how do I get it? Like going to an hospital and then they're prescribing a drug for you, they will ask you, patient would ask, how do I get it? So that way, I love that idea. I love it. So that is another way at which the company could actually make extra fund, because the customer would trust whatever the company is providing for them. So which means you're putting their entire life, the life of their car, in our hands. That's an amazing one. So any other idea? I think, let me go back to that video. It feels as if there are some other ones. So any other idea? Let's generate idea. Let's be in the mood of idea. How do we want they have to look like? What kind of features do we want to have there? So I suggested last class, I suggested subscription plan. And then so let's suggest a subscription plan. But subscription plan would cover, we have different packages which will cover a particular thing. So like this spare part dealer, there's some kind of replacements that the company can just cover based on the subscription, and there's some that the company will not be able to cover, which will like give them this discounts, I don't know. I think it's quite an advantage. Then I thought about insurance too. So insurance too is one thing. So who else? What is going on? Last Saturday was boom. It's amazing. What kind of spirits are we happy today? I cast and bind every door spirit today. So how many ideas have we generated? 4 out of 42. Nice. So ideas, okay. Collaboration with car insurance company. The subscription fee will be part of the insurance fee. The person who has a car insurance automatically will be subscribed to exactly. So I think collaboration with an insurance company is amazing. So it's not just going to be more of they find mechanic themselves covering that part. So which means we are giving extra, we're doing more of a partnership now. The spare part dealers are making money from us, they need clients, they need customers, they need clients, and they're going to give us a discount. So we are like serving as a brand ambassador to them. We're going to bring it. I like this explanation here. Let me copy it to just break down. Let me just add it here to support. Let me just add it here to support what I have here. Oh, better still, I think I could just, let me delete this one. So I'll expand this guy. Can you still go a little bit? Should be able to go. Come on. Yeah, I like this explanation. So this thing wants to spoil my sticky notes. I don't want. Yeah, I join it here. So I'll give it this color. No, I want it to carry the same color. Nice. So now they are together. Okay, so we are improving on our ideas. That is why I wanted everybody to unmute. So it's going to be like a collaboration. So let's generate ideas. So imagine you are driving a car, your car broke down all of a sudden, and then we talked about the customer service. I remember that. I remember that. The customer, I think we said trained customer service. Customer services. So which means the customer service would learn, would have to be well trained, because they will be the one to undo every part of it. And then there is a particular thing as well. I might have to just go back to that video. Hello, ma.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I came late.
Oh, okay.
To be sharp. Okay, so from last week class, we also talked about mobilization for the mechanics.
Oh, okay.
So we talked about what if how they can actually get to the destination on time. Take for instance, if somebody's car broke down and you actually need a mechanic immediately, well, how close is the next available mechanic to the person?
Okay. Okay. That is to always ensure that we have a mechanic close up. Maybe like at least we should always have available mechanics not far from every. How do I put that? What kind of grammar can I use? Like the Redeem used to have churches in every area, every junction, every street. Exactly. That is what I want to achieve here.
So our branches,
areas,
and so okay.
Exactly. So there's no way you will not see Redeem. So we want to make sure that there's no way you would not see fine mechanic agents everywhere. Okay, let me put it this way: to always have mechanics available. But if your car breaks down Thornmill Bridge, I don't know, you have to wait till you would really wait. Those have mechanics available.
Can we say nearness to mechanic?
I think that.
Can we say nearness to mechanic? At this proximity to mechanic, nearness to mechanic.
That is okay. Nearness to
mechanic proximity.
Yeah, proximity. Yeah, mechanic proximity.
Okay, thank you for that grammar. I'm not a grammarian. Proximity, yeah, that makes sense. I remember what it means. So when I want to, I should remember. Okay, I think I've seen another one. Yeah. We'll also collaborate with FRSC, VIO, and the police. Tell the driver where the next FRSC VIO police station is. Oh, okay. If they, this is an amazing idea, but Let me still bring it in. Still bring it in. But the issue I'm having with this is, you know, when you're involving FRSC and the likes, you are bringing in the government, and you don't trust these people. FRSC, so hopefully they have their staff here. I'm sorry, I did not mean it to. But you know, those people, well, we might find a nice one. At least they're getting paid for it. But you know, if you want to partner with FRSC and the likes, you are literally partnering with the government. Another election is coming next year, and one government will just sit on your entire business. Bye-bye. So, of course, it's still an idea. So every single one of these ideas, we are going to like look into them. Then we look at the benefits of it, the disadvantages, and then we look at especially how the company will benefit from it, where it should not affect the company in any way. And then how the users as well will benefit from it, and then how the mechanics as well. So 3 different people to be concerned: the company, the mechanics, and the customer. So if all of these ideas will beneficial to all those 3 sections, then the idea is good to go. So we'll collect ideas. I've seen something here. We also need to consider the issue of security for the mechanic, not only for the client, because you might have fake alerts. Yeah, we can resolve. There's a way to actually resolve that fake alert issue. We will sort that out. That is, if the mechanic will follow through with our own agreement, that is, pay to the app. Don't tell your customer to pay. We are not going to charge you. If we want to charge you, we charge you small money. We'll look into that. Find mechanic will also collaborate with towing van drivers. Wow, we are going to make people make a lot of money. I think instead of collaboration, collaboration is the best thing, because how many tow vans do we want to have? But this towing van driver association, it's a great idea, but it's not a perfect one to put into the market immediately, because it would cost us, just like the FRSC thing, to cost a lot. So literally cost, except if we have one of our investors as a politician also. So if I don't know if a vehicle is damaged and needs towing van, the best thing is, you see, every of this idea, the best thing is the insurance collaboration will carry every bit of it. And how much do you think we could charge for this stuff? Looking at it, it's becoming very expensive, because we're trying to make their transportation life better. We know Lagos is stressful, but imagine the car breaking, like the car just developing faults, and you need to sort some things out, you know? And we're trying to make things easy for them. How much do you think we can charge them? Yeah, Google Map, definitely. Definitely Google Map. We're already bringing that spirit that we're looking for. How will spare part get to the client and mechanic when the client's car breaks down in a far place? And that has to work. Now, the spare part getting to them is going to be very serious. We'd have to look into every single one of those things. So we have to, now, you know, all those things, they are ideas, and then we could encounter problems. Like this spare part getting to them is one serious thing. I know there's some kind of spare part that you want to buy that it's not easy to communicate those kind of a thing on phone, except you have to actually go there to go and pick it up. So that kind of a thing is going to be very, very serious. Now, talking about all these collaborations, you know, on the way, let's even say Find Mechanic has a great management and customer service. They're doing really fine. All of our partners, the insurance, the FRSC and the likes, the towing and those, like, you know, people are the one managing those ones. If they delay and they affect the business, customers will blame Find Mechanic. So we have to find a way to actually resolve that part. So I'm going to add that management around our partners, but I'm not going to put that here. It's not an idea, it's a problem that needs to be solved. Let me just pick one sticky note and bring it out here. It's a problem that needs to be resolved. Otherwise, these people will kill our business. They kill our business, like Jumia now. The customer products are the ones that kill, that would always want to affect their business. If the customer's product is not great, people will complain. And even though Jumia would vet it, but there's limits, and customers can never be satisfied. I can never be satisfied. There will be a fee for each service, just like Figma, and that's true. Free service, premium, VIP with different subscription. Okay, I think that's great. So how much do you think we can charge minimum? I mean, this is not even like a 50K kind of a thing. I think the most convenient thing is to actually do it maybe 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. That monthly fee cannot work because how much do you want to charge them monthly? Except we want to target those upper class. But well, there's nothing wrong if you want to start with the upper class. Let's also consider other skills that deal with car repair, car electricians. That is where the old car specialist things comes in place. We would have to add that too. Thanks for bringing that idea. I'm liking the spirit. Imagine, we've covered a lot of sticking. Wow, interesting. This is interesting. Okay. So you can see what I'm doing, generating ideas, just idea collections. Give me something. That is basically how the whole strategy thing comes. Now imagine we're in a physical environment and everybody, let's say we are all designers and developers, and we are being assigned this particular product to work on. So this is how we're going to be coming up with ideas. So whatever idea people come up with, even if you feel within yourself that this does not really, really sound okay in a way that it doesn't even fit the Nigerian market, you then still have to still consider it. So you just add it in. Then later on, ends the need for our idea napkin. So that is where we will now start identifying every single one of these ideas. So while identifying them, we would realize there are some of these ideas that would be beneficial to the market, which would be one of the most important features and the services that the company would have to render. And out of this idea, there will be some of them that would create a threat or that would serve as a weakness to the company, which would create serious problems for the company. So hence the need of collecting every ideas. So that means we have to. Were you trying to say something? Don't worry, I will unmute you back. Don't worry, I'll meet you back. Okay, we've generated amazing ideas. At least even with this, we could move on. Okay, can also have a session called Order Mechanic, where you certify mechanic can come to. That's like an home service kind of a thing. Yeah, I think this idea, we could use it as like just give the mechanic the option for them to like make extra, so they will not just be just like a tip. You can always go home like the way. Let me show you. I don't know if you've heard of our Eden Life. I don't work for them, so you will not think I'm trying to advertise. I just saw them. I'm a very busy person. I hardly even wash. Hope they're not hearing me. I hardly wash my parents' clothes too. Is dry cleaning because I didn't even have time to wash my own. So I was looking for a way to actually solve my busy problem and still take care of everything, be hygiene and all. So I just came across this site. I don't know if you've come across it. Our Eden Life. Say goodbye to house cleaning, laundry day, long cooking hours. No, we do our cooking ourselves. Marketron, no, we take care of that. It's only that laundry, the house cleaning. I can take care of house cleaning. How many things they help me clean? So the major thing was the laundry thing. So you can see the way they offer their services. They will come, every single one of the staff that will come to your house are directly from the company. So just like the way Fine Mechanic would work. So our Eden Life, it's amazing. And funny thing is, don't worry, I will show you their pricing. The pricing is not really expensive. So let me open it up. We hold the three, but you get to decide which works best for you. Okay, how does it work? When you sign up to our Eden, you can configure a plan that fits. How much are they good for? A lot. Think of a gardener as let's go to the pricing to just see how. But cleaning stuff are not really that kind of a serious stuff. It's very serious. I'm not saying it's not serious. I mean, like in terms of the pricing, it's not going to be like really, really expensive. But there is a way they charge. Look at this page. So you can try and visit our edenlife.com and then check out. Just look at it. Like I'm literally advertising. If Eden Life should make money from this class today, they should come and pay me. So look at convenience and what's that? So how would you come and cook for me? This is their laundry for 30,000 naira monthly. And look at standard cleaning, 1 bedroom, 1 living room, dining areas, 1 bathroom, kitchen every 2 weeks, and saves a week. Total is 12,000 naira. It's worth it. I mean, but then I don't need cleaning. I need washing. They should come and wash clothes. Like, this is 14,000. Wash and fold. 1 bag. That is 30 items per bag. How many clothes you get? So pick up once a month. Picked up once a month? Save 2 hours. No, if I'm going to do this one, it's going to be those expensive clothes. Those clothes that one rarely wear. So you can see they have different packages. So this is just like an idea of the kind of a thing we want to do. But our house is going to be very expensive. Cars are really expensive. So to be able to charge them, we'll really charge them. Okay, companies can also subscribe for the maintenance of their vehicle. Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's true. We can have a standard company. We would even make a lot of money off the company. Because we are going to, the goal now is not just to actually make reduce customers' stress and effort concerning their car. We are still trying to reduce the price and the expenses they would be spending on their car as well. So, the major thing I've always realized about the insurance in Nigeria is the way they operate. It's very difficult. Like there was a time I was trying to insure most of the gadgets in my apartment. So I had to I've forgotten the name of that insurance company. I wish they are very lucky. They're very lucky. I forgot. So I think it was even a colleague that introduced me to them. So I sent them an email, and funny enough, someone called me. So I just took my time to ask questions. I was like, okay, how much is it? I wasn't really concerned about the price because you are doing a great job for me. So I shouldn't be complaining about the price. So I was like, okay, what I want is, God forbid, stuffs cannot really, God forbid, things will not get stolen. The only concern is repair, unexpected issues. So if they have a services that covers that, so their own service is more of, okay, even if the gadget was stolen, it's not as if they let me get another one. So it's more like maybe trying to give me a discount or something. Or I can't even remember, but what they're offering me was not even worth it. Like you're giving me a discount and you're calling it insurance. What kind of insurance is that? Like, okay, fine. My laptop may be as expensive, maybe 500K or something. A stolen gadget cannot be easily replaced, but at least a faulty one should be resolved now. Abi? How much does it cost to resolve? It's not as if they will spend up to 100,000 naira. When I'm not using Samsung, that may be expensive. So even with Samsung, they cannot insure. Who would want to insure a Samsung product? So I think that is why that's been the issue so far. But this method are very amazing. Our own method are very amazing, but we have to consider the expenses. So I'm just saying this so you can have an idea on how much would be best to actually charge for this. But by the time we get into the research stage, we're going to do survey. That is where we send out questionnaires. So when we send out questionnaire, we have to still indicate how much do they feel they can pay for this thing. So we just have an idea, or we will just create an idea, a price idea, just to know how far we can go with this. Okay, you can see that Find Mechanic is going beyond repairs for someone that's stranded. So we can include car servicing. Yeah, car servicing can work. This thing is becoming a very robust software. I'm sure you're not going to bring an investor to come and join our class. We know it's a class, but then it's becoming another thing. It's like a company business. We need to also consider how much we'll be paying the mechanic. You see, that is one thing. So the only way we can actually, let me do that first. Paying mechanic, I think that would be a problem. That should fall under problem. The only way we can actually decide on this is based on how much we are going to charge for this, because this will determine the price. Car breakdown, car is always faulty every day. Now, the fact that these people are even subscribing for it every month, they would disturb us. So that is why monthly will not work. If a particular customer is subscribing for a month and he or she did not even have any issues or complaint, they'll just be like, what's the essence of paying every month? They can always cancel their renewal. But if you have a very long-term subscription, it's very easy. So we have to actually decide on the price we want to charge the customer, which would determine the price to be paid to pay the mechanic. And of course, don't forget that the company needs to make their own funds. And then the whole partnering thing, there has to be a negotiation. At least the company must make money. So the customer must get great services, and the only way customer can get great services if our mechanics. Now we talk about the tools, repair tools. See, those things are quite expensive. I would want to give them the best, so we have to use the best tools. So we are still generating idea not to finish. And with this one that we've generated so far, it's a lot and it's amazing. So we just want to find a way. Now we've generated ideas. Now let's look at this idea in a different way. So this is where the assessment will come. Now imagine find a mechanic on a mobile application. What kind of a thing do you expect that mobile application should have? So that is where we are going right now, because we've identified a lot of things, which is more of the company in general. So now we would have to look into the mobile parts. How do we want the mobile? What are the kind of a thing you want the mobile to have? When you download Uber or Bolt, you access it, there's something you're actually doing there. So those are the kind of ideas those are part of the ideas we'd have to generate. Some of these ideas that we have here so far, some of them will fit into the mobile app and some wouldn't. But now I'm already picturing the mobile app having like a single, like a circle at the center. Once you access it, like you just have one circle, like urgency, like that kind of thing. You just press it like this, bam, then the customer service will just call you, bam, hello, what's up, what's wrong with your car? My car is moving smoke, what's going on? Then I'm just looking at ways at which it will be very easy to communicate. But part of this things has to be automated, even if we have full customer service. Some of these things would have to be automated. So it really has to be automated, like the way Uber automates it. If there are available cars, you would know. So what we could do is, once the car breaks down, they should be able to just open up the app and then lodge a complaint. Once they lodge a complaint, then the app should be able to locate the nearest mechanic around there. Then just connect them together and let it do the rest. But a situation where there are no available mechanic, that is when the customer service comes in, and then they'll quickly find a way out of it. It's because of the country we are. If it's a much more developed country, it's a thing that the company could even provide a ride to just take the customer home, and then we will take the car. We just tow the car to the company, and then the company would fix the car, and then Either the customer come and picks it or we just send it to them, just give them that comfortability. Where are you going? You need to get to the office and you're late, right? Or we'll take you to the office. And before the end of today, we'll fix your car. That is if the car can be fixed. If it can't be fixed, but we're getting there. We'll get there. It's Nigeria. Nigeria will get better. Getting there. So we've generated quite an amazing ideas. But like I said, the idea does not end there. So let's see how far we can generate more audio. And you see this stage, it doesn't end here. We have to continue and continue solving them. So in our next class, we would identify, but before our next class, if you have any idea, you can just drop them on the group, drop them on the WhatsApp group, so we can have as many ideas as we can generate. So our next class is now going to be trying to look at individual ideas and then look at that time is when we now have to look at the problems these amazing ideas could create and how we can resolve them. So that is where we now take us to this the idea napkin template. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a link, count and view. So I'm going to create this link and send it to us. So I'll send a link to the group so we can't have a taste of it. So because we would need to have a copy of this, but of course you can only view it. You would not be able to edit it. Or that way, if you want to just look through every single thing that has been done so far, you can easily preview, you can easily see it. So from the beginning to the end, you see every single one of the work that has been done so far. Okay, so are you talking to me? Can't hear you. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm coming. I want to send this thing. Coming. I need to. I don't have what. You don't remember to connect to my WhatsApp, so I need to send the link via email. So I'll just forward the link to you. So anytime you want to, maybe you want to attempt what we've been doing so far, you can easily visit. Just click on the link, you see every single one of them. You can open it from the phone. You can download Miro. Miro has a mobile application. So you can download the application. Then you'll be able to see everything. And you can just preview it on the normal browser to just see everything. But you would have to zoom, like zoom. Just expand the screen so you can see clearly. Okay, please note that the cost of the parts won't be permanent. As an increase in dollar would always affect the price of good. In a case whereby the subscription of the client is not enough to fix the car, what do we do? Okay, this is where another problem is here, where we have to look into it. Like this is more of a an urgent matter. If we cannot resolve this kind of problem, then it simply means that we would not be able to help with spare parts. Nobody wants to pay for it. But if we are able to find a solution to resolve it, then we'll do it. So these are some of the things I would have to look into. So I just thanks for noting that. But right now I'm thinking of an idea on how to resolve this spare part thing. I think what we could do is everybody knows how expensive this stuff is. So the best thing to do is we are not going to actually pay for it. We'll only give them a discount, hence the need for partnering. So we are partnering for spare parts. We'll not be partnering with all those shops. We'll be partnering for wherever they get. I don't know where they get it. So partner with those that are actually dealing with it in a large format. So that way we would always get it cheaper. It's more like they will be using our own advantage to get their parts in a cheaper way. I think that's the only option I could think of. I don't have a car yet, so that stress of cars, I'm worried. So we'll be putting taking a pause on our class tonight. So let's try and generate an idea as much as we can. And let me know if you have any question. Let me download that link and send it right now. Do we have any question? Any question? Okay, I'm going to copy the link now. So you can visit the link every class. You would always see every single work. Everything I'll be doing, you see every single one of them. Yeah, you can see. Send it to the group. Find mechanic. Find mechanic. So like the last suggestion one of my guys brought now, that is we can send them, quotation to them for permission to go ahead with spare parts. That should be able to work now. That should be able to work. You can see that like when we talk about spare parts, someone had to look into it and then try to identify problems. Like a problem just came up from there. So that is why every single one of our ideas, we'll have to look into them thoroughly and then identify every problem and then just solve them. That is the essence of user experience. That's part of our job, because we need to ensure that as we're trying to provide a great services to the customer, we should not be affecting the company. The company must not lose money. If customers are happy, drivers are getting paid, the company should cash out, because we would be having a lot of staff as it is. One person cannot handle the customer service job. So the company will need a lot. And this is an amazing thing, but we have to consider them. The company must make a lot of money. The company is more of a connecting company. Of course, ends the subscription thing, so the company would make their own money as well. So that is where whatever idea we want to come up with. So the company would, because everything that is going to be happening, the mechanic is the one who is actually carrying everybody around. Except if the company is just going to serve as an intermediary, whatever happens is no one's business. So I think we can still discuss on that. Let me put that down. So if we actually want it to be, no, I think there's no need. We already agree on subscription. Let's leave it that way then. Since it's subscription based, you cannot serve as intermediary again as Jumia. Like Jumia is charging based on percentage. So every subscription money goes into the company. The company will be the one to know how to balance everything. We will need an accountant for this project. Do you have any accountant in the house or anybody that does anything finance related that can come and rescue us? We want to collect money from the customer. This is the service we want to offer to them. And part of the services will cost us so. Transportation for the mechanic to actually go there. The mechanic have to get paid. And then we have to buy this, buy that. The best thing as regard the spare parts is to just buy from the right source. So just they can get it cheap. Oh, great. We have an accountant in the house. Nice one. No, we are building this app into a real actual application. I'm definitely doing that because there is already an accountant in here. Nice one. So who else do we need? Do we have like a car professional? We already have in fact, let me note it down. I'm noting it down. Accountants. Aside from the design and development, this is to prove that a work needs to really go through the due process. Accountant, we need a car expert. We need an insurance professional. Who else do we need? People from those FIRC, we can still pause on that. By the time we look into the idea, if we are looking for a way to actually resolve that, I think these are the people we need so far. So this is to prove for you that the only way you can actually provide an excellent product is by consulting those who are actually very good in that field. This is to bring people. Do you know that all this Google and Facebook, especially Google, they have doctors, they have engineers, they have civil engineers, they have a lot of people They have even have farmers, because Google has one time worked on a plant. This plant, what's the name of this plant? Tulip. So the only way Google developers, the tech guys, they can actually build up something is to actually have experts, the biologists, those people who are very familiar with. That is to prove that for every product out there, you need, if you're working on an health product, you need an health specialist, someone who's very, very good, who has an idea on every single one of the thing you're doing. So you're working for a construction, you're working on a construction product, you need someone who is an expert in that field. So that is to prove that every single one of these things need a professional to, just to make sure that we're not doing nonsense. So we need an accountant to help us resolve this money thing. We'll find a way to break it down. How much do you think the company should be taking in? How much are we going to pay the mechanic? How much are we going to charge the people? We cannot come up with an idea. We are tech people. So the car experts, they will help us take care of, just to give us an ideas on the possible car fixing that the company can resolve. Then the insurance would help us understand what kind, before we can go to the insurance company and actually partner with them, we need to actually understand every single one of those things. So we are going to take a pause on our work for tonight. If you have any questions, so please, let's try and gather as much idea that we can generate. So next class is going to be much more focused on identifying problems around all the ideas that we generate, and then how to solve them, just so we can build an excellent product. So we already have an accountant. We still need a few more people. So, and in cases where we don't find one, we might probably have to just do a research. So you can see that getting those people is much more better than doing the research. When you do the research, you would only focus more on the information the internet provides compared to talking to a specialist. Okay. Oh yeah, this is a great team. This is a great team. We have insurance, we have accountant. That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. So you must not miss any of our class to finish. Sure. That's great. That's great. So we need a car expert, not like a mechanic kind of thing, like someone who is familiar with cars like that. I wish I'm familiar with cars. Oh God. I'm not familiar with it though. So we need someone like that. If we can't find that one, we would have to like go online. I'm sure we still need much more. We still need more people. But still, by the time we go deeper, we would identify most of them. Because yeah, we still need lots of people. Still need lots of people. Okay. Do we have any question or contribution, addition and subtraction, or review, or comments, or 5-star rating? From the few discussion, it takes a lot of work to release a lot to, normally the way this thing works is when someone envision an idea, what they do is just find a developer and then they build up on it and they will start advertising, and then they will launch, and then they will start noticing a lot of problems. Then they will not start looking for people to help them resolve it. Then they will start having issues. Then, but of course, every company would always have their issue. But imagine solving the possible problems. We know we can't solve every of this problem at once, but the possible ones that can be sorted out ends the need for all of this UX and before the UI. UI is just all about designing the site, designing the mobile application. The one that would actually solve every part of the product itself, which involves the management, the business, and all. It's the experience, because everything has to be fixed. So building a product takes a lot. And thank God for the UX and the UI that was introduced. One just have to identify every loophole. Ends, I'm sure some of us would have heard of SWOT analysis. They use SWOT analysis for solving a problem, identifying competitions, their strengths and their weakness. We will do SWOT analysis by the time we get to competitive analysis. That is if we actually have companies that are doing this. But even if we don't have them in Nigeria, we might probably have them outside Nigeria. We still look into them to see how they are actually operating, to see how they operate, to see how their mobile applications, their services are, just to have an idea of how these things are being managed. Because once launched, there's a need to actually manage every single one of the things, like all of them. They're very important. Okay, so let's come up with much more ideas. If you have ideas, please can drop it on the group. So that way we just continue to improve on every single one of our idea, on and on like that. Okay, we'll be ending.